village of Oak Hollow, nestled deep within the heart of an ancient forest, life moved at a slow and steady pace. The villagers were a close-knit community, bound by tradition and a shared history that stretched back centuries. Among them was young Eliza Thornton, a curious and adventurous girl with a penchant for exploring the unknown. Oak Hollow was a place of serene beauty, with its rolling hills, babbling brooks, and towering trees that seemed to whisper secrets to those who would listen. But beneath its tranquil surface lay a shadowy past, one that the villagers seldom spoke of. At the edge of the village stood the ruins of an old mansion, known to the locals as Blackwood Manor. It had been abandoned for as long as anyone could remember, its decaying walls and overgrown gardens a testament to the passage of time. Eliza had always been drawn to Blackwood Manor, the stories of its former glory and the mysterious events that led to its downfall fascinated her. Despite her parents' warnings to stay away, she couldn't resist the lure of the forgotten estate. One crisp autumn afternoon, Eliza decided to venture into the mansion's dark heart, determined to uncover its secrets. As she approached the manor, a sense of unease washed over her. The air seemed colder, and the forest was eerily silent, as if holding its breath. She pushed open the creaking iron gate and stepped onto the overgrown path that led to the front door. Vines and ivy clung to the stone walls, and broken windows stared back at her like empty eyes. Eliza took a deep breath and pushed open the heavy wooden door. It groaned in protest, but eventually gave way, revealing a dimly lit foyer. Dust motes danced in the shafts of light that filtered through the broken windows, and the air was thick with the scent of decay. She stepped inside, her footsteps echoing through the empty halls. The interior of the mansion was a labyrinth of crumbling corridors and forgotten rooms. Eliza explored cautiously, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. As she wandered deeper into the manor, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Shadows seemed to move just out of sight, and faint whispers reached her ears, too quiet to understand. In the grand library, Eliza found a dusty old journal lying on a desk. The leather cover was cracked and worn, but the pages inside were surprisingly well preserved. She opened it and began to read. The journal belonged to Edmund Blackwood, the last owner of the mansion. His entries detailed a life of opulence and grandeur, but also hinted at something darker: strange occurrences, unsettling dreams, and a growing sense of dread. One entry in particular caught her attention. Edmund wrote of discovering a hidden room beneath the mansion, a place he believed to be the source of the disturbances. Driven by curiosity, he had descended into the depths of the estate, but what he found there was beyond his comprehension. His final entries were filled with fear and despair, and then abruptly stopped. Eliza knew she had to find that hidden room. Following the journal's clues, she made her way to the basement. The air grew colder as she descended the stairs, and the darkness seemed to press in around her. At the bottom, she found a narrow passageway hidden behind a rotting bookshelf. She squeezed through the opening and emerged into a small chamber, its walls lined with strange symbols and ancient carvings. In the center of the room stood a stone altar, and on it lay a peculiar artifact, a small ornate box. Eliza approached it cautiously, her heart pounding in her chest. She reached out and touched the box, and as she did, a chilling whisper filled the room. "Free us." The voice was barely audible, but its desperation was unmistakable. Eliza's hand trembled as she opened the box. Inside, she found a collection of old letters and a locket containing a faded photograph. The letters were written by Edmund Blackwood, addressed to his wife and children, begging for their forgiveness and explaining the horrors he had uncovered. Edmund had discovered that the mansion was built on the site of an ancient burial ground, a place of dark rituals and forbidden magic. The spirits of those who had been sacrificed lingered, trapped between worlds, and their anguish had seeped into the very foundation of the house. In his quest for knowledge, Edmund had unwittingly awakened these restless souls, and they had tormented him until his final days. Eliza felt a wave of sorrow wash over her. The spirits were not malevolent, but lost and in pain, bound to the mansion by forces beyond their control. She knew she had to help them find peace. Gathering the letters and the locket, she made her way back to the library. There she found an old book on rituals and incantations, and began to prepare a ceremony to release the trapped spirits. As night fell, Eliza lit candles around the library and arranged the items she had found. She recited the incantation from the book, her voice steady and clear. The air grew thick with an otherworldly presence, and the shadows seemed to pulse with life. The whispers grew louder, forming a chorus of voices pleading for release. "Free us! Free us!" Eliza completed the ritual, and for a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then a blinding light filled the room, and the voices rose to a crescendo before falling silent. The light faded, and the mansion grew still. Eliza felt a profound sense of calm settle over her. The spirits were free, their torment finally at an end. She gathered her belongings and made her way out of the mansion. As she stepped into the cool night air, she looked back at Blackwood Manor. The oppressive darkness that had once surrounded it was gone, replaced by a sense of peace and serenity. Eliza knew that she had done the right thing, that she had brought closure to the restless souls of Oak Hollow. In the days that followed, the village seemed brighter, more alive. The shadows that had hung over Oak Hollow were lifted, and the villagers spoke of a newfound sense of hope. Eliza became a beloved figure in the community, her bravery and compassion celebrated by all. Though the echoes in the dark had been silenced, the memory of that night stayed with Eliza. She knew that the past could never truly be forgotten, but it could be understood and respected. And as she walked through the village, she felt a connection to those who had come before, their stories now a part of her own. Oak Hollow was a place of peace once more, a testament to the power of courage, empathy, and the enduring human spirit. And Eliza Thornton, the girl who had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, knew that she had found her true home.